you segued so well into our next question, which is, organizations cannot endorse or oppose candidates and can be wary of overstepping political boundaries. However, artists do not necessarily have those limitations. How can/should/may artists use their skills to aid candidates and change our political climate? And should they?
Yes, they should.
Yes.
That's the short answer. I mean, I can't tell you how good it feels to see some of my favorite actors, you know, who are in nighttime dramas or whatever, just make like a 30-second video saying something about something that matters, you know. Celebrities get trivialized a lot, and sometimes artists do too. And I think, you know, because such a large amount of people are exposed to celebrities and television and everything, I think that's a perfect excuse to use. I mean, I've done shows where I put Obama's name in there as many times as I could. But sometimes I do still believe that sometimes things have to come in certain packages in order to be received. And if somebody needs to understand that, hey, maybe I should think about how people of color feel because it came from the hottie that's on Grey's Anatomy, then so be it. It doesn't matter how they found out about it as long as they got the information and it made them think. I think it's effective.
I think I'm going to tie this into the other one too because we in my school we also have to abide by the Johnson Amendment, but we also have to abide by the fact that I'm a Catholic institution, and there are. In my contract, I have to sign that I will uphold the Catholic beliefs. And so as an artist, sometimes that's very limiting. And you have to find the shows that you can do as to not break that contract and have respect for that contract. It was said earlier in the evening, but I think for artists who may find themselves in that position, who are working for a company who may have restrictions like those, or maybe classroom teachers who are trying to say something, is to focus on the theme and to use that piece of art and to lead people into thinking one way or another. Like we said before, humanitarianism is not a bipartisan topic. And so when we're doing Seussical, we can overemphasize the fact that bullying is not good, right? But we're going to put it past U.S. jazz hands. But when you hear, you know, something like Alone in the Universe, you can connect with that. And so I think while having respect for and abiding by what the law says and what your organization would like you to put out into the public, that doesn't stop you from, that can't stop you from overemphasizing the good themes of being a decent human being.
I mean, do we have to be good human beings to be artists?
Do you have to be good human beings to be artists?
Yeah, I mean,
Do you have to be a good human being to be anything?
no, I guess not.
Well, if you're trying to change our political climate, maybe it would be a good idea to be a good human being. But as art stands on its own, I guess not.
I mean, I was speaking from, I deal with high school students.
Yeah,
so yes, of course I'm going to encourage them to be good human beings.
Yeah, it's
But
just,
no, you don't have to.
I guess I'm sort of thinking about all the things that encompasses being a good human being, like don't swear and don't, you know, it's just kind of like,
don't swear.
But it's just, I don't know, it's just for some reason I'm getting like this kind of disconnect here about like, it still sullies it for me. Like there seems like there's people with their fingers in there telling me what to do, and I always felt that as an artist that nobody can tell me what to do. Darn it, I'm going to say what I want to say, you know. And it might be awful, and it might be ugly.
And that's the question, that maybe,
That's
you know,
expression.
as an artist, is that freer or not?
I don't know. I guess if you want to be yelling at your wall by yourself, you know, I'm an artist, you know. What's the goal? I mean, when I started out wanting to be an artist, where was it when it was just about my expression? You know, the beginnings of art, blah, 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 how did it all start? Was it about expression, or was it about earning money, or making a living, or getting a platform where you can say things and start to affect change? Like, where are we all getting our actual to create art. And I think it's different because we are theater people, you know, and I think that it's a very collaborative thing, and so we learn to play nice with everybody. And a lot of times as an actor, I don't necessarily feel, sometimes I feel more like instrument than an actual artist. But I would like to hear from maybe performance artists or painters or sculptors or writers, just to see where. Am I making any sense?
Yeah,
Am I just blathering on, you know? And there's just something about it, it's like rubbing me like, it's frustrating.
What's streamlining it for me, because I do agree with you, I think what's streamlining it for me is to change our political climate part.
So that's
I think that's where, I can't speak for everybody else, but I think that's where
So you think that that's the best path, is to sort of play by the rules and then
I think the option.
make yourself somebody that would be, oh yes, I will listen to that person because she doesn't offend me or she doesn't.
Oh,
No.
no, I guess I just feel like, so how should they, artists, use their skills to aid candidates or change our political climate, or should they? I think the example that was given was, okay, we can use Seussical to teach these kids, we can hone in on the theme as opposed to who's doing it or what party is doing it. And I think that artists can very much do the same thing with probably a little more leeway. I think they can approach it any way they want to. I think in life, artists can do whatever they want. But if they're specifically, if they're trying to change, if they're trying to evoke change, then I do think if you're gonna take on that task, there is a responsibility to how it's received, or else you've done it, you have not achieved your goal. So I guess it would depend on what the artist.
So you have to be sort of crafty, be sort of smart.
If that's what you want to do, some artists say, screw the man, and they just want to, you know, make music that's about breasts and butt. Censorship is dead.
So I guess that there are artists that just by the very nature of who they are, they're more political than some other artists. I think that there are a lot of artists that they have the luxury of just having ideas, and they change ideas, and they change society because, and I'm not going to say that like that, but because they just, but then if you get someone like Robert Mapplethorpe, you know, maybe he just thought that homosexual sex was beautiful, and he took photographs of it, and suddenly it's a political firestorm, and he's in your face, and let's discuss it, and well, we gotta tear this down.
And this is actually a great segue to our next